protests too much.
It was the best way for them to fit in.
That lizard dove protests too much.
I mean, really, like every time you see a Republican senator talking about like child molestation, they get busted with fucking child porn. Like, or it's like every time. Like, why are you talking about this so much?
Everybody should worry about these drag queens reading books.
To
your children because you don't want them to read books.
Yeah,
books are bad.
We should take them out of the drag shows where nobody's ever been molested and put them back in church where everybody's molested.
Right. Everybody for all time.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. That's save the children.
Save them. Speaking of saving the children, I don't know if children need to be saved in our next campaign.
Do children exist in this world?
We've not seen a single child yet.
They are around.
Billy's like, yeah, we like them.
Is this like Elder Scrolls Morrowind?
This whole session turns out to be all children suddenly.
There's children. I made children NPC. I guess you just never ran into them, but I have quite a few of them.
That has other questions.
That sounds like a likely.
All you have to do is start asking where all the NPCs where the children are.
How old are you, NPC?
Yeah.
Are you legally a child in this world?
Can you lead me to the children?
I want to know what a children at.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so you guys want to continue on? You guys remember exactly what happened? Or
no.
Too bad. I'm not doing a whole nother episode.
We're going to Graveltown, and I'm a goblin.
You're a goblin. Everybody's good. You guys are going to Granatos. You are.
Wait, am I recording?
Yes. I fucking hope so. We were doing good shit.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, so you guys are tasked by the Adventurers Guild to go to Granatos.
Gotcha.
Granatos to see if they are suffering through the same sort of like weird dimensional
childless existence.
Yeah.
That is a real scary problem, though. If nobody can have children anymore.
I saw that movie. It was really good.
What's his name?
Clive Owen.
Yes.
It was excellent.
Yes, it was. It was pretty good. Children of Men. It's good. Thumbs up.
It's an official thumbs up from everybody here at Plus One again.
If you haven't seen that movie in the 12 years since it came out.
Yeah, it came out a long time ago.
Check it out.
But so you guys are on there. So you have a deal with the Grain Merchants Guild that they are going to kind of provide you cover of why you're there, just so the nobility or whoever it is in Granatos doesn't think that it's strange that you just show up and start looking for work. But it's kind of a secret plan. Not everybody knows. So you are directed to go meet. Down at the docks, one of the grain merchants, one of the grain traders, meet up with her. She is not in on the plan. She just thinks that she is that you are escorting the ship back to Granatos, and that's where you are. So you're directed to meet a trader down in the docks. So we will shift over to the docks.
Oh no, my notes are mixed up with the other game we were playing. It's like I don't remember fighting bugbears.
No bugbears as of yet. So you go down to the harbor at Harborton, and it's a very bustling harbor. There's ships of all sizes there. You have small fishing ships. You have giant ocean-going frigates and things like that. But you were directed to go to a medium-sized dock where you are taking it's like a flatboat or a floating barge. It's more of a river-going vessel, not really suited for the ocean, because ocean-going vessels are going to have a hard time traveling up the gouge, which is the main deep, fast-flowing river that divides the continent.
Neat.
So you guys can all see?
Yep.
I see about. You guys arrive. You see the grain merchant. Its name is Jelani McGran. And you see her discussing shipping fees with the captain of a 2-masted caravel docked nearby. Neither the captain nor the merchant are aware of the secret plans. So try to keep that on the down low, just to remind you. And they just see you as, you're the normal hired guards for the trip. So you see Jelani. She is a female human, and she's dressed in a green jerkin and tan pants, just traveling business attire. The captain, Captain Krantz, is a dwarf, and he's accompanied by you see 3 male humans as ship workers, and they're kind of getting everything prepared. They're loading the final sacks of grain and trimming the ropes and doing all the other things that I don't know that are involved with shipping. I'm not a shipping expert.
They're battening hatches.
Those, yes.
Wiping
exactly.
poop decks. Swabbing for samples.
So what do you guys do?
Well, it's been a while since we've connected in games, so maybe it's worth like a quick check-in before so Bill, we've been tasked with sort of posing as grain merchant guards for this shipment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess do we have like a cover story or something that we want to develop?
That's our cover story. We're guards. Where is that? I have too many tabs open. All right, here we go. And only the lady knows.
No, not even the lady knows. So
not even the lady. Shit, I wrote my notes wrong. I'm gonna blow this cover.
Yeah. So the cover is so you have a contact in the.
I thought she was our contact.
Well, she's no the contact. She is just a great.
Yeah. We just got plugged in with her.
Yeah, exactly. Plugged in with her. Your contact is actually in the is a. I guess more of a manager, not a traveler. This person stays at the grain merchant headquarters in Granitos, and that's your contact. I have his name somewhere, so you can write it down in your notes. I think I told you it already, but
I'm sure you have, but my notes are all. I made a new page for just Tales of AO. I didn't realize we were going to start playing another game on the side and get all gobbledygook together.
Okay, I'm going to find him by his face, which is great because
they will know him by his face.
What the hell are you, jackass? Oh, his name is Philippe Weston.
Philippe? Is that with an F or a P?
Phillippe.
What I asked.
Philippe Weston.
That is a fancy boy name.
He's a executive in the Merchants Guild, so
nice.
Maybe a fancy boy. There's a chance of fanciness.
Yeah, I feel like significant chance.
There you go.
Well, I guess Wizard's Claw has never been undercover before, so he'll just try and act it up. Oh, well, look at us 3 grain merchant guards on a quest to guard this grain.
Yeah, grain really is needing of protection these days. Am I not right, my fellow guards?
Yes, in this economy.
Right. I know about that.
The amount of inflation.
There's definitely inflation, grain, and bandits.
The bards have been calling it grainflation.
They
keep doing all these truncations to make it sound snappy.
Yeah. It's one of those things like a gate, like Watergate. You got inflation. You just add it to
grain
the back.
Gate. Yeah.
Grain Gate.
Put a name to it and it sounds much more sensational.
And nefarious.
Yes, so nobody should have any nefarious plans for this grain because we're
you over there. I see you. I'm pinging you. You look sketchy. Back off my grain. Is that one of the guys that works with us?
No, they're all on the ship. So you can roll for it. Do you want to roll insight to see if he's acting fishy or if he's just moving cargo?
No, we're just letting our
roll to distract
you. I'm the one acting fishy.
I was about to see why does he seem fishy?
Look at him. I mean, I'm not trying to be like that.
Yeah.
But he looks. That is a bandit's token. If I ever seen one. This other guy looks a little on the up and up. But
the two of you are gonna blow our cover if you don't tone it down.
I didn't bring any cover.
40%.
Well, yeah, it's
And
now that
whistle
our
in
cover
his
has been
accent.
adequately laid thickly, we
Mhm.
can proceed.
And you just, as you walk
Well-
by, you're just like, we're guarding.
Guarding the grain, guarding the grain.
It's like a cold open on a sitcom as we approach. I just look back and start in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
So he tried to take the grain, and I punched him right in the face.
That's great because that's exactly what we do as a profession.
So as you walk by, like Johnny like turns to you and goes, okay, they're here. We have a deadline to make. Yes, so if you have no problems, we can. I believe we could set sail immediately. I mean, I have to get this grain back to Harborton. It's or back to Granitos. It's expected, and we can't be causing any delays. So she kind of just ignores you, not even like a greeting as you come on. You're just your staff.
As I walk by him, I go, perimeter secure. And I hop on the boat.
The bird. What is the front of a boat called? The stound.
The bow.
Maybe it's the
House.
burn.
The burn.
Burn.
And the back of it, the butt is good.
The boat butt.
I think it's
believe
their
that's the technical
haunches.
term. It's got
And the right side. Wait a minute. I have to orient myself correctly. How do you orient on a boat? Which way's up?
Forward? That's the way they move.
I turn my head all the way around, upside down.
Don't forget to watch your aft.
Hell yeah. Wait a minute. Is this docked on the correct side? Is it on the port side? That's the
have
only
no
thing I
idea.
know. There's
I
dock.
believe
That
so.
is
supposed
the
to-
port side.
The
Yes.
thing is, I know it's called port because that's where they dock on, but I don't know if it's left or right.
I believe, and I mean, I made this map months
port
ago,
is
so
left.
I
Always
assume.
left. Always
You can
left.
remember
Look,
because
I've
they
learned-
both have 4 letters.
I learned
Yes.
one because it also has R in it, like what is it, starboard, and then
Starboard.
R has right. Also, there's too many ways to remember. It makes me forget.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is. I was about to say I made it on the right side. It's the
What
port
is this?
side.
We need a not numeric. What is it called when things like rhyme and you can make like a saying out of
Pneumatic
it?
devices.
Yeah, we need one of those for the parts of a boat. I'm surprised they haven't taught sailors
I'm
that, like a
sure
little song.
they have one. Port
Suddenly
is
the sailors break
port
out
is
in the
left.
classic song.
Port-
describing
the
the
aft,
full-
the starboard test.
Yes, can we have a singing montage, educational
Oh, fuck. Is
school
this a
rock
musical
moment?
now?
I'll write it. Hang on. But the problem is, I
ChatGPT?
also, as Eric, don't know the fucking parts. Is it the 4?
It's fore and aft is just like when you're talking about like directions, but the bow and the stern are the actual parts of the boat.
What the
So if
fuck?
you think of like, so fore and aft are like the like up and down, like, and the bow is the part of the ship, and the stern is the part of the ship. So if you're if you go aft, that's you're going backwards, like you're
To
going
the
towards
stern.
to the stern. Yes.
How
Stern is hard to rhyme. is the
how much
problem.
nautical knowledge do we need to have to progress this
None.
quest forward?
We're
Zero.
Absolutely none.
You
I
were
am
in the
telling-
Navy. How do you not
Yeah.
know the parts
good
of a
point.
boat?
Well, I do know this. I know fore,
Okay.
aft, starboard,
Yeah.
port side.
You told me it was a 4 in the front, not a starboard. Starburst.
No, a fore and aft is front and back. Starboard's
you
right,
make it-
port's left.
Smart. Did
Um,
sing the song they taught you to know that.
the official Navy song.
out to sea. No, that's not
Billy
it.
and I learned that song when we were in chorus class.
Low. Enter on the port side left. I believe that's the official form. So as you guys are getting on and like introducing or like walking around and just be like, I know ships. Port. This is port. Port side is left. I know that. Elliot,
Checking the railing.
she's like looking at you a little weird. And she's like, well, now that we're here, I'm going to retire to my quarters. If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to contact me. And she walks down this set of stairs right here, which I believe is the correct set of stairs to
Port side.
Yeah, that's hers. The one on the port side staircase is where she is going to go down. And so as you get in there, you see you just kind of make yourselves out of the way as they're finishing out. Just overhearing them, I'm not even gonna make you roll a perception. You hear them talking to each other, and you get that this is Walt, this is Peter, and then this is Martin. And Martin seems to be like the second, the mate. He's like the second in command, so he's checking with Captain Krantz, and just like we've checked all the lines are secure. We are ready to go. Peter and Walt are doing the finishing touches. So whenever you are ready, we can cast off.
Mark, what are we missing? You're like cracking up.
I don't even want to derail the game so badly because I just did a major roleplay faux pas.
What did you do?
By interneting while you were monologuing. I just told ChatGPT to write me a old timey pirate shanty that teaches children the difference between port and starboard. So we'll post that on the website.
Yes, absolutely.
Later.
Definitely want to see this.
Yeah. So they're going to introduce you to the ship. They give you kind of the tour, and just in case you are not familiar with this area of the ship as well.
This area of the ship is the port. I know that.
Yeah.
Wait.
This is the deck, and so they're going to.
You're right.
He kind of points out the areas and kind of the area so that you have the deckhand, who's Peter, is this one, and he's kind of in charge of doing all the stuff over on here. And you have Walt. He's just a general sailor. He's kind of like the least ranking. He's the newest one. He just does all the generic anything that needs to get done, including he like climbing up the rail. So he's like the top man, which is the person who climbs the lines. He does a bunch of different things. That is what they call it. I had to do some sailing terminology in preparation, so I do know. And then they're going to they walk you down. So there's a big hatch in the middle that is their cargo hatch. And there are ladders on either side of it for you to climb down. And I will move you over to the interior of the ship as you get it. He's giving you like the rundown. Martin, the mate, is just giving you. He's like, all right, well, here's the cargo. They shouldn't really have any problems here. And then he walks over to the door that's to the and he opens up to the bow. He opens up the door.
The door to the fore.
Yeah.
Why can't I move?
I don't know why you can't. Can you guys not move?
I move with my. Oh, is this not gridded?
It should be gridded. Give me a second.
I can't move with my like. It doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Grid on. Done.
Doink.
Save.
There we go.
There we go.
Woo!
Yeah. So I just somehow turned off grid. So as you go over to that door, it's like that's the. So there's. Yeah. So you see a bunch. There's only one door that you can see, I would assume, and it's this one right here.
Oh, I like that. I can't go out of the bounds. No clipping.
Yeah, it is restricted movement, which is cool. Thanks, Roll20.
I don't want to be restricted.
You can't contain me.
Yeah, so he opens up this door here. I hope you saw it. I thought once you open the door, you can close it again, but it disappears the door for some reason, which is stupid. But there's the door there, and he goes in and
he just explodes this door as he walks through it.
Yeah, like the door feature is new in Roll20.
I've never seen this
from our first adventure, the exploding doors.
Busting fucking doors.
And then he goes here. It's like here's like so you see like a row of stacked cots, and that's where you are. And he says that the crew takes turns in 12-hour shifts. Between the captain and him are in charge of steering, and then Walt and Peter are in charge of doing anything. Unless something comes up, then it's all hands on deck. He kind of assumes that you would also set up some sort of rotation, and that you have 2 beds for the 3 of you. I know that probably Lord Wizard Claus doesn't really need a full-size bed, but I'm sure he wants one.
Well, just a quick resource management point of order.
Yeah.
Wizard Claus came in riding on his litter, so that takes him down 1/3 level spell slot.
Oh yeah.
But that spell lasts for 8 hours, so this would be like the start of that 8-hour block for that spell. Just so you know, like that it's cast and it's available, and that spell slot's been expended.
Sounds good. And I'm going to say that somehow this magical litter can navigate ladders just fine. I don't know. I would assume it can, just for the sake of things. Just gonna hand wave.
It
I'm
doesn't
sure
have
it's
climbing speed.
Oh, it does? Well, then
Yeah.
it absolutely can climb. If it has a climbing speed, then it can climb. Just turn sideways and you just have to hang on as it turns 90 degrees to climb up. Yeah, okay. So I appreciate that. And so he points out, and you can probably move your litter to some other spot if you want it, but he assumes at least that, he wants he's not going to tell you how to do your job. He assumes that you guys are properly trained guards, but he just says, here you go if you need them, but
Little does he know.
you have two cots, but I hope I don't see too many times you're using them. I don't know why he now has Brooklyn again. Him use Izal. He's like, well, you have two if you need to catch a quick rest, but of course,
one of us will likely be awake at all times, anyways.
Yeah, I would
so
hope
two
at least,
shall suffice.
At least one. I mean, an 8-hour workday. What is this? Common times. We expect at least a 16-hour workday out of the lower class.
This is pre-unions.
Yeah, this is absolutely
Okay.
pre. Well, you're in a guild, so
that's a union.
that is, you are in a union. It's like, I know your union rules allow you to have at least some time off, but I would hope. And then he just he goes up and he starts unfurling the
Wait,
sails.
this is the part of the ship where now we sing a song about being in a union.
Yeah, this is the pro union.
We union.
A bunch of pirates doing
Because
Union
we
pirates.
said so. I don't remember that movie.
The Union Pirates.
This is shaping up to be a great musical, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm right. I'm
Mark, can you-
taking notes.
Can you draft up a quick chat GPT shanty for that too?
I'm a songwriter now via chat.
Yes.
So however you guys want to do. So you guys are now good.
Yep.
He's going to go up and they're going to start casting out. You guys can however you guys want to set it up.
Probably
just let me know.
just look around in an effort to, in case something does need to get beat up, just have a lay of the land, and then I would probably eventually just head back up to the top to watch the top man do his work and
You guys
enjoy
all doing
the
that?
sea air.
Yeah, I mean, this ship is completely devoid of any scent of wizard claw, so he's gonna have to wipe his scent glands on pretty much everything.
Yeah,
in
there's
here.
a lot of canvas bags and a lot of things like that.
So he's gonna start going to work.
All right.
Yeah, Zysel doesn't want to be down here. He wants to go upstairs to the poop.
All right. Well, we can actually do this now so that we can have split up. So Zysal is still down in the bottom, spraying his stent, right? Or do you not?
No.
What do you think I'm doing down there?
Not
He's the
Zysal. Sorry,
goblin.
Lord
Cat is
Wizard
doing the
Claus.
scent thing.
Peeing on this grain.
Yes. So Lord Wizard Claus,
You're not one of the
down.
wild goblins.
Yeah.
I pee in
So
a
you're down.
bucket like
everybody
everybody
else
else.
Yeah.
In a bucket like every
And you see
civilized
them.
person.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bill.
So they cast off.
Yay.
And
We're
you see,
sailing away.
yeah. So they tell you that it expects to take about 4 days.
Damn.
3 days with favorable wind and weather to get there. It's not a fast journey.
We're river sailing?
So you're going to go first coastal and then river.
Coast and river. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to move everybody over to the new map. So the waters of the coast are normally calm, but as you go, you see that there's rocky areas where it gets a little bit choppier, and depending on the wind speed and weather. But in general, that it sticks pretty close. The ship will stick pretty close to the coast, just because it is not designed for, full on ship or seafaring. So if you imagine, it is not a seafaring vessel like if you played Civilization. It's got to stick to the coasts. So as the ship sails north along the coast, the rocky cliffs tower to your right, separating the crystal blue ocean from the tall plateau of the Harborton holding. The ship is too large to be swayed by many of the waves, but you definitely feel that rhythmic gyration aboard the ship as it sails. So what are you guys doing as it sails? You have lots of time. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing to kill time.
I want to see how hard it is or how quickly I can navigate the climbing, swinging on ropes. It's kind of like practicing, a new environment.
Absolutely. So why don't you roll me that would be give me an acrobatics and an athletics check as you're trying to climb up as fast as you can, but also swinging between the the ropes. You see the
Whoa.
Walt the Sailor.
Identical rolls.
Yeah, 14 is pretty good. So you seem like you
Weird.
feel like a natural. Like as you're climbing up there, you see that Walt is also every now and then climbing up there just to adjust some things, and he just looks at you and he nods because I see that you're a customer. Are you a sailor or?
No, every once in a while we have to take these trips on the vessels in addition to guard duty on land. But every chance I get, I like to practice in case something happens on the next mission.
Yeah, well, it's nice to know that that we have another well-seasoned topman, and you can help me with the lines if a storm comes or something time sensitive. I hope you don't mind. But we're all in this together. He's a little bit younger than the other ones, and a little.
Yes, you seem a little
friendly.
so friendly. Thank you for the warm welcome to your vessel.
Oh yeah, I wish it was my vessel. I'm just no, I started on this one about 5 months ago, and it's been going good. I'm hoping to learn the tricks of the trade. It's a good way to get a living. I didn't want to be a fisherman, stinky and dangerous, and I thought that this would be a good way to go out and see the world as well.
Yes, I think you're right.
So, is anybody else doing anything while Walt and Umrin are having a little chit chat?
I mean, I would assume Zeisel's gonna want to talk to somebody.
You don't have to. Who do you, if you want? So
it's one of those things that like you're
You
playing
control.
a character that's more outgoing than you are.
Okay. So who are you gonna chit chat? So you see like the captain and Martin are up there kind of chit chatting, and Peter's just he's going around the deck just securing some things, kind of just killing time. It's as of right now it's pretty easy going. Nobody needs to do anything, but he's just wandering around the ship, just checking the holds, checking some of the ropes, just doing your normal stuff.
Killing time. Let me go out and talk to these fancy people.
Okay. So you see that the captain of the shipmates, as you walk up there, they're discussing some of the key and more treacherous like rocks and passes along the coast. As you can imagine, that one hidden reef or hidden rock shoal could spell danger, especially when you're hugging the coast this tightly.
If a rock cropping does spell danger, who do you think wrote it?
And they just look at you.
He scribbles that into his notebook for
Yeah.
next type 5.
Needs work.
Yeah. The captain just looks at you and just nods. A little work.
So do you guys think like how many times a day do you or week or however much do you make this journey?
And the captain just turns. He goes, "Oh, this is a common journey. Getting some of the grain, Harberton to Granitos, where it's a little bit more forested. They don't have the area for the big wide fields that you have over there on the plateau. But of course, they have some goods. So it's just the life of a transport vessel. We bring down lumber, and we bring down things that grow, fruits, things like that. Are in general, you can think of Iowa as being like southern hemisphere. So the more south you go, the colder it gets instead of the other. So like if you've seen the map, the ice caps are on the south.
Yeah.
So as you get think of like Harberton is like the heartland.
Mm-hmm.
The grain basket, probably like Ukraine style, where it does get cold, but not super cold. And then this is more like you're going in like the Mediterranean area, where you'd have, some grain, but a lot of fruits, a lot of trees, a lot of things like that. So I don't know. I haven't just come up with all that stuff. So he just comes. It's about like I said, it's a 3-day trip to come up here. Probably a day or two at each time to unload and load and work out the next trip. So we probably do it. I'd say let's say 2 times or 3 times a month.
So
it takes a little bit over a week.
Do you normally have to have guards on the boat? Like, is this a dangerous route?
And he they kind of look at each other, and he says, it's not undangerous, but it's increased in attacks lately, probably because of like you were talking about the grainflation.
Yeah, grainflation.
It's things of the cost of things, and I don't know why the commoditorium always sets these prices sometimes high, but these, I don't know if it's the demand is there and the cost is high, so we hear stories of getting attacked, but we think it's a low risk in theory. And you see them like kind of looking at each other a little bit.
Okay. Weird. Can
I roll insight?
What does that look about? What are y'all doing?
Yeah, roll me an insight. Absolutely.
Where's that roller?
Insight, wisdom, put you.
So with a 16 insight, like you just had, like you look at it, you're like, what's you hiding something or something? I'm not gonna speak for your guy, but
that's how I talk.
Yeah, and
what's
then
that?
they turn.
What's that look about? What you guys like?
Yeah,
you got an inside joke.
Well, he's like, I'm a little nervous. The barley that we're holding is it's usually about 5 gold per for like a bushel or whatever is like, I'm a huge amount, like 200-300 pounds is like 5 gold. But he says that it's getting closer now to being about triple that.
Wow.
Yeah, and he, they don't. He's like, we don't control the prices. Fuck the commoditorium, and I don't. And that's a huge hum. I don't know whose that is.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah, someone's giving some feedback.
I muted. It's Mark. Mute your mic, Mark, real quick.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's much better.
My cable got bent.
Can't be doing that.
And it was like a fucking water hose. It was like kinking up the sound waves. How does that work?
Yeah, the tubes.
I mean,
the data was getting clogged.
It looks like the literal silver part of the, that plugs in got like bent. So it probably, the cables are probably fucked up.
Okay. It's a technical term.
Yeah, so.
What are we talking about? Supply and demand.
Yeah, so he just says, like, so the cargo that we're holding is worth about 3 times as much as it was before. So 3 times as likely to get robbed, basically.
Yeah, that is a lot richer of a target.
Okay. Besides that, yeah, they just like that was the look. They didn't want to like let you know how valuable the cargo was. Just
well, I ain't gonna take it. I don't have any use for a bunch of barley. Thanks. And I walk away.
They go back.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
You just walk away. Wizard Claws, are you still kind of just walking around, relaxing, taking up the sun?
No, he's taking his role seriously. After he's done smearing his scent where he can, he goes and investigates the grain shipment while singing his merry little song.
Yeah. Okay. So you're still down in the
and
grain
that song goes.
Right? I'm a little grain merchant, short and stout. Here is my tail. Here are my claws. And so he goes around. And he's actually gonna, as
this
a
is
ritual,
his solo song in the musical. So make it good.
Yeah. So are you down? Can you see the ship hold? Or are you on the map?
I'm in the room. Our room.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, because I can now separate you in different maps, which is very nice.
Nice. But he was going to go cast an alarm spell as a ritual on the grain.
Okay.
Kind of taking his duties seriously. He's going to ward it against unwanted intrusion.
Okay.
I think he's going to exclude small critters like mice because that's for him. He wants to catch the mice. But anything like medium size and above creatures, he will ward for an alarm, little ding-a-ling alarm.
Yeah, absolutely. So you cast as a ritual, so no spell slot taken, but you take your 10 minutes and you find the area that you would assume, just cast as much of the grain as you can. You kind of see how it's separated. It's stored as it would rock the liso against the sides and against the back, which I assume is how it is. I don't know if it's just piled up in the middle. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be done. I am not a cargo specialist on a
I can't believe you didn't figure this out ahead of time. Do you even prep these sessions?
I didn't fucking prep these sessions.
Fucking
No.
literally unplayable.
Well, having been on a ship and received cargo, I would imagine to be on like some kind of pallet or something.
Yeah, so I would say like I put like the cargo things to the north and south, and then there are some other things like you see there's like some like this is the cargo as you investigate, like that's where they have their fresh water, like the rations for you guys to eat during the journey are like stored separately than the actual cargo that's being transported, which are in these mostly in like big 100 200 pound like sacks that are very hard for one person to grab. And you see some barrels of some other things. It's not just barley they're bringing, but if they have any extra space, they're taking on some other things. But yeah, so you cast alarm over as much of the grain as you can, ruling out like small animals. So if anything of, I would say small or bigger, so any tiny creatures is ruled out, but small or bigger, or will set off your alarm. Are you going to stay down here after that's done, or?
I think he'll maybe rejoin once he's kind of feels like he's done his due diligence there, he'll go back up.
Okay.
And then he'll cast one more ritual spell.
Yep.
And it's more of to assuage his paranoia about being on the water. And that spell is water breathing, a transmutation spell.
All right. How long does water breathing last?
24 hours.
Oh, good. Okay, I didn't know if you'd had to keep casting the ritual like every couple hours or so.
And it is up to 10 creatures, so he goes up to Zazel. Zazel Umran, how would you like to be able to breathe some water?
I mean, sure. That's not anything
definitely.
I ever thought about. Breathing
Well,
water.
I mean,
I have prepared for this journey 0%, so that sounds fantastic.
yes, well, we're traveling across these rocky outcrops. The price of grain with grain inflation has made us more of a target.
To be honest, I don't even think I know how to swim. So yeah, that'd be good. I could just, I guess, sink and walk to the shore if I could breathe down there. Yeah, do that.
Yes, it's a very, very sound strategy indeed.
I just put some rocks in my pockets to make it to where I don't stop somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, so he'll spend another 10 minutes, and then he'll boop Umarin and Zazel on the nose to cast a spell.
All right. And just you, like, you don't get in the other guys. I guess they don't really, they're not too worried about it. They do this every day.
We said 10 people, right?
Yeah, so that's what. Do you want to include them as well? Like, just ask them?
Well, I just don't go around casting spells willy-nilly on people without their permission.
Yeah, consent is important.
Yes, of course.
Consent is key. Yeah, I mean, like, if you ask them, they're not really concerned. They're like, it's, they think that you're like, you landlubbers are just like, are scared. They're like, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm scared of drowning. That's pretty normal.
And they don't seem as concerned as you about the water. They're looking.
We're so uncool.
Yeah. So are you guys so who's on?
I'm gonna change shirt. That's gonna take me right to the bottom. That's good.
It will absolutely.
And I can't
metal
doff
armor
quickly.
Well, as a point of order, if they don't object, he will give them the benefit of the spell just because.
Okay, yeah, they don't object. They just think it's funny, and they're just like, it's because it doesn't affect them at all. They probably don't notice it unless they fall in the water.
Because they're lizard people. That's why they don't care.
Ah,
I fucking knew it.
You figured it out.
Illuminati. You
I
did.
cast true form.
You know how like you go out for somewhere
It's
and
like the mood.
you with your friend and she's like, oh,
And
I don't wanna
everyone's
drink.
lizard people.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
but like she doesn't drink. She usually drinks, but then she doesn't order a drink. You're like, oh, now you're pregnant, and that's like
Yep.
the tell.
That's
Yeah.
the tell.
Now we know.
They didn't take.
They didn't take the water breathing because they already have it.
because they already have it. You cast what is it, Moonbeam that reveals all true characters or whatever.
We knew it.
And yeah, they're all lizard people, Illuminati.
They are the ones. We have already stolen the grain.
They didn't tell you their old name. It's actually Walt Soros, Peter Soros, and
Oh God.
they're all Soros.
We're aiding and abetting theft
Yeah.
right now. Grain theft auto.
I've seen it.
Grain theft. That
Grain
should have
Theft
been
Auto.
that. I should have
Uh-oh.
renamed
Okay,
it instead of against.
start
Grain,
over. We
Grain
need a
Theft
new
Auto.
title screen.
I was
All
trying to think of an Ocean's 11 pun.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's 11, but that's awesome. So who's as you guys are doing this, it's hours and hours are going through. They tell you that it's going to be about, in theory, about one day on the sea, and then 2 to 3 days fighting the currents going upstream. So this is just kind of like the boring area. So you start out early morning, and as the day goes on, the sun starts to get lower and lower on the horizon as it's becoming dusk. Where are you guys at? I would say at about 7 p.m. What are your duties at 7? So
I feel like I want to just kind of like maybe sit kind of towards the front of the boat, scanning the shore ahead to see if maybe like, I figure if somebody's gonna try to stop a boat, they might be hidden along the shore.
Yeah, at this point, looking
for like torches specifically, I guess, since it's later at night, or campfires or anything like that.
Yeah. So at this point, the captain and Walt the sailor have gone down to get their rest. They started a little early, so there's just the two of them, and then you're going to roll me a perception check. So as you're scanning the coast and scanning things,
15.
All right. Is anybody else checking things out, or?
Cats. I know cats like to be up high, so I think Wizard Claws has gone to the very highest point that he can, up in the crow's nest.
Yeah, there's a crow's nest. It's on. I made the crow's nest. I think it's on this one.
Yeah.
Or is it on this one? I don't remember which mast it's on. It's somewhere.
I think that's fine. But so he's up there. He's tried to find like a little perch for him to just kind of like observe the world.
So roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're kind of you're dazing off. You're not really paying attention too much.
Just basking in the sun. What's
little
left of the sun there is?
Yeah, it's not because you're trying to look out for things, but you're so reliant on smell, and all you can really smell is like that sea air and that salty, kind of fishy ocean smell.
It's
and
so refreshing. I love it.
Yeah, it's just like kind of overwhelming your senses, and you're not really paying attention too much to what's going on. But Amrin, from off in the coast, you see this, you see there's seabirds, and they're flying around, they're following you, they're playing in like the breezes that fly off of that cliff, and you see a bird in the distance, and then as it starts flying and getting closer to you, and you see that it's kind of hard for you to tell how far away it is because it seems pretty big, and then it gets closer and closer, and as it's getting closer and closer, you're just thinking like it must eventually get close enough because it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then as it just keeps growing in size, that until everybody they're still doing their stuff. Do you you imagine it's got to be it's bigger than your average bird? What are you doing? It's probably about 100 feet away. You really can't tell how big it is, but it's big. Like you can't tell exact size. It's got, I would say, like a 15-foot arms wingspan, maybe more. Are you Are you pointing it out? What are you doing? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you, Mark? What are you doing? Because you're the one.
Yeah,
who saw
I
it.
mean, I would point it out. I guess is we didn't really go over any kind of protocol for alarms. We probably should have. I'll just go back towards the helmsman and the captain went down. I'll ask who's the captain? Is the captain
The
below
captain's
deck?
in his he's below deck in his quarters, which are the ones that you're there. But like Martin is up there, and he's the first mate, so he's in charge right now. And,
Come on, there's something on the horizon. It's headed towards us.
and you
Looks like
and
it's
you-
coming straight this direction. Do you have
Mhm.
problems with any attacks from flying beasts?
He just looks at you. He's like, not really. And then he looks and he sees, and as soon as you point it out, and it starts
Yeah,
like
a spyglass.
it's like
Do you have it? Do you have
yeah. And
something?
he whips out his spyglass. He goes over and looks at it, and it's kind of like flying closer to you. Not like doesn't look like it's going in like an attack formation or anything. It's like just flying casually towards you, closer and closer. And he points it out, and he just like screams at Peter. He's like, Peter, we got a baby rock coming. Prepare. And as you see this giant bird, and he called it a baby, so you can only imagine how big a full-size one is. And it's just comes and just kind of swooping casually around. But I mean, this thing's got like a 20-foot wingspan. Its body's about 10 to 15 feet long, or more than 20-foot wingspan. Then it is giant. And it just kind of casually loops and swoops around the ship until it takes and it lands right on the edge of the ship as its talons like dig into the wood on like the edge of the ship and like folds its wings in. I want everybody to roll me a dexterity saving throw as the weight of this thing landing just kind of rocks the ship about 10 degrees suddenly. Dex save.
20 for wizard claws.
That's your save is the same as your dex. Yeah, okay. You just did a dex regular, but I'll take it because I think your dex is even better than. I think a dex save is even better than your because you get a
click
plus.
dex save.
Yeah, your dex save is even better. Yeah.
24. Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because usually a save is better than just a regular check because you get bonuses. Like.
Yeah. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one.
It's all good, but yeah, I mean, I didn't think you would. You're the most dexterous out of everyone, but a 14 and 18. And so as it goes, you guys are all able to like hold on. You see that Peter and Martin already have like, they'd already were hanging on. So this thing, the whole boat rocks about 10 degrees. And then as this rock just like opens up its mouth and kind of like has like a little bit of a bird call. I mean, not like a roar, not like a chirp, very like raptor like, like a hawk or anything like that. And it just starts smelling and looking around. And Martin just like, he's like, everybody like calm. He's like, all right, I think he's just curious. Nobody do anything. And you see the bird, he's just on there. The whole ship is listing a little bit. And it just like digs its claws a little bit more into the wood, sniffs, looks at each of you, like sniffs down into the hold a little bit as it reaches out.
Wizard claws can't contain his excitement. He gets into that little like pounce mode where they get like ready to his butt wiggling. You know,
wiggly
what I mean?
butt.
Oh yeah. This giant, huge, or I guess it would be colossal.
The human version.
Yeah, I mean, he just sees like a giant prey. Like he loves birds, so he's like getting excited.
Yeah, so it's whatever's bigger than, so it goes large. It's not gargantuan, but it's I guess one size bigger than that. Huge. Yeah, so it's huge. But yeah, it does seem like as you see the behavior, it does seem very like playful and juvenile. You've heard of rocks before. And you know that they are gargantuan. They are giant. And this, well, they're gargantuan. That's the best way to describe it. They're sometimes up to 50, 60-foot wingspans. But this thing, it looks at you for a little bit. You start to you butt wiggle, thinking to pounce on it, but you could you're about the size of one of its feathers, if that.
I'm gonna take my staff and kind of just put it down on the ground like a cross in front of the cat, to.
Well, he's up in the.
Him. Oh, he's way up in the top.
Yeah, he's up in the thing, so he's gonna jump. Its head is probably not too far from, because it's probably 15, 16 feet, up. The head is, and then he's probably 30 feet up. So it's not super far. He could easily jump if he wanted to. I don't know. Tell me if he does. But
he's just role playing right now.
Yeah, no, I like it. Just tell me if anything changes. But this rock, pretty quickly kind of gets bored. He looks around, and he just releases his grasp, takes one, flap of his wings, and just launches up into the air, and he just starts flying around there. And that with that flap of his wings, you see the sails just flutter, straining to contain the force of the wind from its wings, and it just goes off and continues on its way. That was, and as soon as it lands, you see the captain opens his door and leans out and just comes up to Martin. He's like, Martin, what was that? And Martin's like, we had a curious little rock land on the ship, but nothing seemed to be an issue. I'm trying to do the Liverpool accent, and it's not working out. I'm trying to be the Beatles for the Martin, because Liverpool's a coastal town, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, it'll be a cool British no, didn't work. So just pretend that he speaks like Ringo Starr.
Nice.
So just everything I say is in Ringo Starr's voice. It's yeah, curious rock. He's gone. Luckily the guards didn't do anything stupid. And
Wizard calls yawns and goes back to sleep.
Yeah, the captain looks at you and nods, appreciate the restraint. Yeah, restraint, and he goes back and goes to bed. And then dusk quickly settles into full night. I don't know how you have your guard shift doing, and who's going to do guard, who's going to rotate that. But
I think I have night vision, right?
Yeah, Wizard Claws does too. He likes
so Umrin can sleep during the night, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll do dusk, and then the first one where there's still a little bit of light.
Yeah.
And trade off.
Yeah. So Umrin's going to go to bed. As they keep sailing throughout the night. You can tell that Martin is doing the night shift. He's younger, got a little bit sharper eyes, but they've done this so many times that you see that he's not concerned at all. He's yawning, casually holding the ship's wheel, just making sure they're not hitting any rocks.
What, didn't a rock just hit us?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Hitting any stones? I don't know. Rock is
Lizel scribbles that into his notebook.
when
we get to these port towns, he's killing it.
In Iowa, the rock hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the night passes uneventful, and then at dawn, Captain Krantz comes and relieves Martin. Same thing happens to Walt and Peter. And I don't know who's going into. Who's replacing, or who Umrin is replacing, who's going underneath. I'll just decide that for you. But nothing really happens, and you didn't really hit any. Luckily, you didn't hit any problem with the
icebergs.
Yeah, what the hell? I had more. Yeah, no, the problem with like the weather. I rolled on the weather chart. You guys actually got good weather, so no rocky weather or anything like this. And as you go through as you keep going after about a day's travel, so around 8 or 9 in the morning, with about the same time that you left off, you get you see in the distance off to the right, you see a giant walled city. And as you coast to it, he goes like, "All right, ready to start our inland travel." And you see that it's. He points out you're familiar with it. It's the capital city of Trimblemore, Bradrick. So it's smaller than like if you had the map of Aoa that I had on before, you see the Bradrick is a coastal city just on the north coast of the Gouge. It is as it gets closer, you see like it is very impressive. It's made of marble and alabaster, and it's very fancy. What's going on here?
Oh, we don't have a World Anvil entry for it yet, do we?
You may have. I thought not for that one, but you have it for the overall map.
Yeah.
But no, you've never gone there. So it's a medium-sized city, and you see the morning sun, which is on the the east coast, but it's on top of a cliff, and it kind of glints off of that like white and alabaster and white marble, and kind of like makes that city shine really, really brightly in the morning sun. But right before you hit it, you kind of see the Warp District, you see the cliffs, and you see the big castle. But then you turn starboard, and you start going east, and you enter enters the flat rocky delta of the Gouge. And very quickly, that rocky delta turns into 15-foot tall cliff walls on either side of the river. The feature gives the Gouge its name. And you immediately see that the pace slows down considerably as you start fighting against that current. I mean, it's a considerable current. You have, as soon as you do that, Walt goes over and he unfurls even more sails, just trying to catch that direct westerly wind that's blowing from the west to the east, trying to catch as much of that in the sails to fight against that, that onrushing and relentless current of the Gouge. And you understand now why, even though it's about the same distance between the Gouge and flying down the Gouge, it's going to take 3 times as long, traveling that same distance, just because you are just creeping up the Gouge. So as you guys are now sailing along the Gouge, you see that it's slowed down considerably. And like I said, it's really just wind dependent. As if there's a good breeze, you're making some progress. If there's a poor breeze, you're barely just treading water, basically. Mm-hmm. And that's when they were talking about like 3 to 4 days, depending on conditions. It's just the wind and what's the prevailing wind speed and all that other fun stuff. So, I mean, you have plenty of time as this is going up the Gouge to like turn around and see Bradrick. You see the like the main palatial area, which is about 50% of the city. That's why it's not a huge city compared to like Harborton or Granitos you would imagine. It's just really the palace and then a minor city that's been built around it. Almost like a DC back in the day, mm-hmm. where it's its whole purpose is governance, and everything else is supporting that governance. It doesn't really have an industry of itself. And so after Walt unfurls more of the sails and they catch that, you see that it lurches forward a little bit faster, and you start to make a little bit more progress. And then those sheets billow in the westerly wind as the ship lurches towards us at a slightly quicker pace. So who's now on guard duty here?
Is it daytime now?
It is. It's probably around 9-10 o'clock.
Okay. I guess
Wizard Claus is taking a nap.
Yeah, Zyzel probably will too. I imagine also by like this popular city, it's going to be less dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
So he'll go down for his nap.
All right. I'm just going to leave you on the board while you do that.
Yeah. He's been hanging out in this rowboat most of the day, picking locks and writing jokes.
Okay. That's like his little...
practicing his 2 crafts.
Yeah.
And nodding off anyway.
Yeah. So not really paying attention at all to like the guard duties.
I mean, he's on a fucking boat. He looks around.
Yeah, but yeah, he's really just like, yeah, he's not a lookout. He's just there if something happens. Yeah, so you keep going, and during this, like the next 8 hours, when Umran is kind of just walking around, I don't know what Umran is doing during these 8 hours. It's a 3 or 4 day journey, so we'll just kind of fast forward some time. Are you kind of chit chatting with Walt again? Or you see that Walt is a little bit busier this time, as he has to constantly adjust the sails and adjust the ropes to try to catch as much of that wind, as he can. If the wind's blowing, westerly, northwesterly, southwesterly.
I think the guard duty jives with just his general interest in finding something to fight. So he's, relatively vigilant, just kind of walks to each section of the boat to spend, an amount of time looking that direction and then goes to the next.
Yeah.
Mostly looking out to the horizon rather than, inward on what's going on in the boat itself.
Yeah, so the gouge is relatively straight and even, but there's slight bends and changes in the width, going from a few 100 feet to a few 1,000 feet. It's considered like water flow, about like Ohio River. Sometimes it's almost a mile wide. Sometimes it's only, let's say 400 to 500. And in those areas, you imagine the current's just picking up and it's just struggling against that. To the right, you see the King's Road, which is to the right, which is the south. You see the King's Road, and you see a few wagons and caravans that are traveling. It's a little bit more expensive to ship by ship, I should say, transport cargo by ship. So you see like smaller, single caravans, or like just a wagon will be going up that way, maybe coming. Mm-hmm. You don't know if it's coming from Bradrick or coming from Harborton or wherever it is. But you also pass a few fishing boats, a few other like sailing vessels and cargo vessels. In general, it's wide enough that you give them wide berth and there's no issues. You see that they are going considerably faster, with the current, to the point that they actually have to. They have some of their sails just to try to slow themselves down, because you can imagine that without, if you're just doing the current, you lack the ability to steer. Mm-hmm. And so, but they give each other wide berth, and it's few and far between. There's probably only, I don't know, 1 to 2, maybe 3 ships each, during the day. River shipment is, it's hard, it's dangerous, and it's, you can imagine, expensive. So not a lot of cargo gets shipped each day along the gouge. And then as you keep going, you start passing shorelines. I'm going to say 8 hours have passed up. So Wizard Claws and Zizal are back up. You wake up and you get up. It's like mid-afternoon. Mm-hmm. And you see occasional villages too along the gouge. Those are where those fishing ships are, trying to catch some like river trout and things like that. I don't know, salmon, whatever fish is in here. And you even see times that there are ferries in like areas where the cliffs are a little bit easier to access, just because you have not passed the bridge. There was not one bridge the entire time. You've just seen anybody who's passing. I mean, it's 100 feet, 200 feet wide. You can imagine a bridge across that it's going to be an undertaking. And also a bridge that's able to handle a giant, masted ship sailing underneath it.
Yeah.
So you just see every now and then, I would say like every, I don't know, dozen or so miles, you see a ferry station. But most travel is going north and south.
Zazzle, imagine the business opportunities if we built one of those toll roads over this gouge.
Yeah, but do you know how to build a bridge?
I know how to magic a bridge. Is that about the same?
That's good enough for me. And to be honest, thinking about it, we don't need to know how to build a bridge. We hire the guy who knows how to build the bridge.
Precisely.
And then we take the profit and we fire him.
Just one more step on our way to Catola.
So, yeah, as you guys are chit chatting, I don't know, whatever you guys are doing to pass the time, but the day quickly turns into night as the sun sets behind you. That constant wind being, blowing down this gouge and the current going against you. Like I said, it feels like you're not making as much pace as you were. You see just the terrain and the trees just crawling by on the shores on either side. And I'll keep the same order of your watches. Roll me a perception check for this dawn or this dusk.
Evening crew?
Whoever's the evening crew. Yeah, a 15 and an 8.
Clicked out of. I'm in the evening crew.
Yeah, why don't you roll me a perception check?
Because I accidentally clicked the X. I was looking at the map of Granite or of Aowa.
Yeah.
And I tried to get back to the tab and X'd it out. Had to Control Shift T to get back. Perception. Right. Hang on, it's coming.
It's coming. There you go. 18. Yeah, so you're from your rowboat, you're looking around, and you see, and this time it's you're probably at this point 100 miles or so from maybe even a few hundred miles from Bradrick. You're going a few knots, so you can imagine if you're going like 4 miles an hour, you're probably 100 miles away after a day or so. You're not going fast.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're going as fast as you can. And from here, you see nothing really stands out to you. You see there's less shorebirds. There are more, the normal, woodland birds that you're used to. As you see, it's getting more forested and more forested on either side. You do notice that there are off in the distance. You see giant buzzards, and they seem to be circling something, but they don't ever get any closer to you. You don't know what they're circling. You don't know what happened, but there are giant vultures circling about with something not in the river, but off just north of the river. And that sun sets and it's nighttime. Nothing really happens over the nighttime. Wake up, same type of thing. But then this time, when they do the shift change, you see that all 4 of them stay on. And you see that they are now, you see that Martin takes a position on the port side, and Peter takes Martin is back there. Walt takes a position on the port. Peter takes a position on the starboard, and they start looking down and looking out. And they're a little bit more cautious. You have all hands on deck now, looking like not out and forward, but like down along like the cliffs.
What's everybody looking out for?
And as you say that,
I want to look.
Yeah, so you're looking down. You just see that they're looking at. You see that it's a little bit rockier here. And Captain Kranz turns and goes like, we're entering the Stone Tusks. That we haven't hit them yet. You'll know when you hit them, but it narrows down so much during the Stone Tusks that it's so fast, but it's also so deep. But there are exposed rocks that, depending on the river level, they could be hidden, they could be right underneath. So every single time you go to the Stone Dusk, it doesn't matter if you memorize or if you did it successfully the last time. Every time it's different. It's a real hazardous passing. So if you're looking down, you see that there are some rocks that they're passing. They're still going very, very slow, but you see like rocks jutting out. You also see like underneath the water, you see like maybe 5-10 feet underneath. You can see like jagged rocks, but this is a shallow keelboat, so you don't think that that's a big concern. But you can imagine if for some reason the water level was down, they could easily scrape themselves along some of these sharp rocks. So as as they get closer and closer, you do see these giant stone pillars raise up from the ocean, and it narrows down to to about 100 feet. It is maybe 150 feet. It is so skinny here compared to areas where it was almost a mile wide. Surprisingly, the water doesn't seem to be going that much faster, so you can only imagine how deep it is right here to allow like the water flow without having to rush. But this is just an area where it's carved in like this really deep, narrow trench into the water. As you guys are going up, where's everybody's? Believe nobody. Oh, Zyzel can. You have a passive perception of 16, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Zyzel, as you're doing up there,
as hell.
Yeah, you see off into the distance. It looks like you see like a bunch of fallen trees that seem to be like caught up into those stone tusks. And you also see like a small rowboat, like kind of paddling against the current over by one of those trees. You see these like tied off onto one of the trees, and he seems to be kind of, you don't know what he's doing, but he's facing the tree, kind of maybe unhooking, maybe trying to clear. You don't know. You from this distance you can't tell. I'm going to move you to the new map. So as when you see this, I'm guessing you tell Captain? Yeah. So as soon as you see it, that they were so busy looking for rocks and all this stuff that they just didn't, and they're looking closer up that you see farther out, and you tell Captain Krantz, and he shouts to Walt and Peter to stow to furl the sails, tie them up. And you see that they hurry up and furl the sails to try to slow down, let that current bring them to a stop. And then Peter releases the anchor as you get close enough to these area that you see it's just like a big tree is just kind of wedged itself in one of these rocks. And with the clearance that you have, it's just going to be hard for you to navigate. And you see there is like a lone person out in a rowboat. And you see him, he's got like a rope. It's tied around to one of the trees. As you get closer, you hear him. He kind of like shouts up to the ship, and he's like, "Hold on, I'm getting it. Give me some time." You see them like he's trying to tie the rope around the far end of the tree, and he kind of like paddles and like pulls himself along, just fighting against the current in this tiny little one-man rowboat. And then he calls up to you, and he's he's telling me like, I'm working as fast as the fucking current will allow. I know. Give me some time. I'm getting it. So he ties one end of the rope to the tree, and then he starts letting the current and kind of rowing a little bit more, like directing, because the current is pushing himself past, and he will like move himself over to the side of the ship. And you see him. He's like, "Hey, do you mind giving me a little help? I usually have my mule pull some of these blockages, but it's not an option right now." You see, he's a little bit of disdain and anger in his voice when he says that. So he asks for permission aboard. Captain Krantz just looks at him and, "Hi, get up! We got places to be." And at this point, Drelani comes up. She feels that the ship has stopped. She comes up out of her thing, and she's, asks exactly what's happened. They kind of tell her there's a blockage. They're doing it as fast as they can. She's like, "Chop, chop! Let's go! We have a schedule to make. We cannot delay." So that this man, he kind of ties off his boat to the side, his rowboat off to the side of the boat, and climbs up. And he introduced himself as Tevis. So he walks over, and he's you see that he has a rope in his hand. It's got the tree on the other side. He's like, I'm going to need some help. If anybody can help.
Sure, we can help clear the way.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, like anybody who's strong, Walt is gonna, they're pretty strong. So they're gonna go over and like grab onto the rope, and you see that as he hands him the rope, and he kind of like lets go of the rope, and he walks over, looks down into the hold, and he's like, "Ooh, grain, I see. Interesting." And you hear him whistle, and one lone man off to the coast stands up, and you see that he's holding this like bottle filled with some sort of chemical, and he's only about 20 feet away from the ship. He says, "You gonna shoot him?"
I don't have anything to shoot him with. No.
If you want, this is your game. You tell me what you want to do. So he tells you, and he's got a crude firebomb, and he kind of turns to the captain. He's like, "I'm really sorry about this, but I'll be taking some of that grain with me. I apologize for this. I don't want to do it, but I gotta. Do you mind getting some of your guys down there to grab me a couple bags and loading them up into my boat?" And they see the captain. He's just like, he sees like this crude firebomb that this guy's holding, and he knows, a grain ship, how flammable grain is, plus his ship, and he's like, "I want no part of it." Jorlani, of course, is complaining and arguing against it. And
wait, so this guy's threatening us with a firebomb?
Yep.
Well, this simply will not do. I've been tasked with delivering this grain, all of it, to Granitos. You shall not have it. And he casts Erupting Earth on the guy holding the firebomb on the coast.
All right. So give me what Erupting Earth does.
Yeah, let me click it because I know there's a thing on it. He needs to make a DC 15 dexterity save first.
Yep. It's soon, DC 16 dex save, right?
DC 15 dex save, not 16. Hopefully he's not dexterous.
I will see. He is more... give me a second. I gotta bring the stupid... There we go. Now I have it in my game. His character sheet. He's going to do a dex save. Let's see what it is. It is not. It is only a 10.
All right. So he does take 31 bludgeoning damage as churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube, and he also the ground in the area becomes difficult terrain as well.
Okay, so how big is it? 20-foot cube.
20-foot cube.
Okay.
So I imagine like I don't know if you can see like my ping, kind of like.
Yeah, no, I see it.
Okay. And I'm hoping it maybe kind of like launches him into the water because it comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't say that in the spell.
Oh, it's supposed to be a square, but it turned it into a circle. So 20-foot cube around him. Let's just say there. Yeah. So like you see it. So he gets launched. So this thing, and he just immediately taking 30 points of damage.
31.
Yeah. So you see him collapses on the side, and then as soon as he collapses, you see Tevis just scream out. And then you see additional people pop out, and they all have improvised firebombs, and they all launch it at the ship.
Ooh.
Nice.
So, luckily, we get to use wildfire.
Oh,
Fuck, I should have known. He asked me, he's like, "Hey, could I see his fires?"
You see the wildfire duck? All right.
Of course.
So I'm going to roll. So as soon as, so they're all prepared. So as soon as you do an action, they're going to do their prepared action, which is throw. This guy's not going to be able to make it. He's a little bit too far. But the other ones, you see a small child and a female.
Oh, now there's a kid.
He totally did that on purpose.
No, this is. I told you when you said there was a kid. Yeah, you see him. And he's holding. He's actually. Yeah. So they all chuck fireballs. I'm gonna make them do a attack to throw. Against, they're just trying to hit the ship, which is not a hard target. I think just to hit a square is a pretty easy one. Yep. So they both hit, and you see them. They throw this crude glass firebomb, and as soon as it lands, it explodes into it's a small one. It's not as good as alchemist fire. So you have 2 areas of fire. I don't know where let's see if I can find. How do I start with the wildfire? You got to help me with this. So I just want 2 areas. I'm just going to mark them.
So you should, in the settings, you can set it up where you can choose specific cards if you'd like, or you can just drag them off the top of the deck. Should give you a random one.
Yeah. So let me see if.
But if you hover over it, should, since if you set it up based on the video that I sent, anyway.
Yeah, I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. I have it here. I can drag it and move them, but I don't.
No, you're fine. Go to your deck settings, and I think you can just toggle it inside there. There'll be an option where can choose, and then it's a drop down, and I think you choose either GM or GM players, and then
GM choose show fronts.
Yeah, so turn all that on, and then it should add a new option into your hover menu.
Choose. Yep, I should. Perfect. All right. So we are going to use. I don't have it sized right either. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they're little.
Yeah, give me a second. I can actually change that too. There's card size. It's 2x3. Is that pixels?
If you're doing pixels, it needs to be 214 pixels by.
Yeah, I should have done it. I did it just this morning. It's fine. We'll be good. I'm gonna just drag them so they're the right size.
Yeah, can you?
Them.
Yeah, you can just do manually.
I could easily just drag them. All right. So you're gonna have to walk. I think it'll be a fun thing that you invented the wildfire. So you tell me exactly what happened. So you have 2. So 2 have landed onto the ship, and then you also see that a person on the other side has a crossbow, and he's launched his fiery crossbow into the sails.
Ooh.
So the sails are up, but that's different than the wildfire spread on the deck. So let's everybody roll initiative.
This crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to remember to click my token before rolling the initiative.
All right. Yeah, it's supposed to automatically add, but it's not doing it. But I'll just do it manually. Where are you guys? 3. Those are the ones I want to worry about. So, it did add. So, Wizard Claws, you're 16. Umrin, you are 14. And Zizal, you are 24. You did really good.
Yeah, that was a great roll.
Yeah, you did really good. So that was that's what everybody did on their surprise round. They launched it over. So now we're at the top of the order. So Zizal, you get to go first.
Quick check-in. Since we're at 11 o'clock, is this a good maybe?
Yeah, this is absolutely a great
point?
time to stop. Yeah, because
All
you guys are about to. You guys now have a lit fire.
About to get screwed.
I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see.
Man, fire on
how
a boat.
Fire on a boat. Well, how hard is the wildfire deck? I guess we're about to find out.
I don't know, but I'm stressed about it.
No, I think this is an exciting way to play with the product finally, and then also just different
this is
element
scary.
of combat. This is fun.
Yeah,
fun and exciting.
Absolutely.
Thanks for building us to this point, Bill.
Yeah, no problem. I will see you guys all. I think I'm free next week. I'm not 100% sure, and then the week after that is Gen Con, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure. I might be busy next week. I'll check.
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
think
I
I'm
need to
free.
check too. But otherwise, also, I don't think I was able to say congratulations to you semi in person on the new baby.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
It's
sorry.
really exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We're a lot to do. We've been trying to take everything in. It's
get our gaming in now because we won't see
exactly.
you ever again.
Absolutely.
Were you aware, Chris, that Mark is also having a child?
No, I didn't know that. Congrats.
Yep, almost
That's
the same
amazing.
time.
Oh,
Oddly enough.
That's fantastic.
Oh.
No, that's great news. No, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's all very surreal.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same, Bill. It's like...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot to... Yeah.
That's it for this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, and head over to +1togaming.com for more live discussions, actual plays, character creation tips, and more. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.